Well, for decades, Elizabeth Warren pretended to be an American Indian in order to game our affirmative action system, kind of a stolen valor situation. But it turns out it might be something of a trend. Warren has repeatedly claimed that she was fired from her first job for getting pregnant, another level on which she claims she was a victim. But new evidence suggests that that was a lie, too. She's actually as entitled as she seems. Lisa Booth is a senior fellow at Independent Women's Voice, and she joins us tonight with an update on this story. Hey, Lisa.
Hi,
what
Tucker.
Is this?
Right. So at the heart of Elizabeth Warren's stump speech is this story about gender discrimination. When she was a young special needs teacher at Riverdale Elementary School, she was fired because she was visibly pregnant by her male principal. Listen to what she's been saying on the campaign trail.
I was visibly pregnant. And the principal did what principals did in those days. Wished me luck and hired someone else for the job. I was visibly pregnant. And the principal did what principals did in those days. Wished me luck and hired someone else for the job. I was visibly pregnant. Wished me luck and hired someone else for the job. I was visibly pregnant. Wished me luck and hired someone else for the job. I was visibly pregnant. He wished me luck and hired someone else for the job.
So obviously a terrible story, if true. But the problem is there's been video that has surfaced from 2007 where she told a different story.
It was in a public school system, but I worked with the children with disabilities. And I did that for a year. And then that summer, I actually didn't have the education courses. So I was on an emergency certificate, it was called. And I went back to graduate school and took a couple of courses in education and said, I don't think this is going to work out for me. And I was pregnant with my first baby. So I had a baby and stayed home for a couple of years. And I was really casting about, thinking, what am I going to do?
So in addition to this video that clearly contradicts the story she's been telling on the campaign trail, the Washington Free Beacon reported that the Riverdale Board of Education actually voted to extend a second-year contract to her and that they were disappointed when she resigned and said that they accepted it with regret.
Well, that's shocking. So
well, it is.
It is. But what you have here is a pattern of someone who's been successful. And by the way, she has been successful. She's a U.S. senator. But rather than say, I've been successful, she has claimed repeatedly to be the victim of discrimination. She clearly has a need to see herself as a victim and to lie about it.
Well, absolutely. And this comes at a time where she is clearly surging, where she has emerged as a front runner in the Iowa caucus and the New Hampshire primary. And what's interesting is 538's Nate Silver was saying today that this story is not being picked up by the mainstream media, which is actually to the detriment of Democratic voters, because she's going to head in potentially to a general election where she's not really been pressed by the media, where she's not been have to ask these tough questions. And the times where she has, she released a video after being called Pocahontas telling Americans that she's actually less Native American than the average white person. Or in interviews where she's been even remotely pressed, she's completely floundered in being able to answer why she lied to us for so many years about being Native American. And she's not been pressed on this.
And how her parents were not allowed to get married because one of them was an Indian. I mean, I think I'm much more Native American than she is, and I don't think
I probably am too.
I think you are. Lisa Booth, great to see you tonight.